I recently heard the three words vision, mission, and values. And I thought that was really interesting as an entrepreneur. I always thought that was kind of corporate jargon. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. It really didn't feel like in my gut something that I need to put together, or it made sense. That felt like a kind of bigger business that had a lot of people that you're working with. But then there's this analogy. If your business is like a big old sailboat, like an old school sailboat, well, the vision for that is you get on this boat, and the vision is the exciting destination. The goal that you have. Where are you going to end up with this business? And this can change based on the week, the month, the year, the overall macro vision of the business, but it's something that's, I think, really important to figure out. The second part of that is the mission. The mission is the why, right? It's so cliche to talk about. What is your why? Oh, my family, all these things. And we get that. Getting the real why of why do you want to make $10,000 today? Why do you want to make $40,000 this month? Why is your goal to make, $100,000 this year? And what exciting things along the way does that income open for you? What doors does that open? What pathways does that open? And then the last one is the values of your business. And the values of your business really comes down to the way that you treat other people, the way that you interact with the people that are engaged with your business. And I think that metaphor of just thinking about this big sailboat going on a destination, and you're on there, and every day, you're doing the tasks to be able to get there, and you're really understanding the reason why you stepped on the boat in the first time, and then the way that you interact with the people on that boat is a beautiful analogy for our wholesaling business. That visual lends itself perfectly to the conversation that I'm going to have on this podcast with an incredible young 22-year-old superstar in the making out of Chichester, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. It is my pleasure to bring on here Kayla Boykin. Kayla, how are you?
I am good, Brent. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
I am incredible. We're going to get to your backstory. We're going to get in the DeLorean, and we're going to go back in time to discover the seed of why you are a real estate entrepreneur. But before we do, I want to get into the nitty-gritty of this. I want to know the vision, mission, and values that you have developed over the last year. Because really you got into this we were introduced to each other in the TTP program in April, and it's taken some time to really build some momentum. You closed your first deal right at the end of the year. It took longer than I would have liked, longer than you would have liked, but you have always been very positive and optimistic and moving forward and excited about this business. And I want to know why. I want to know from April to December, you didn't make any income in this business. And I want to peel back and hear, what is your vision? What is your vision for your business? Why are you a real estate entrepreneur? Let's start there.
I definitely want to, share my story. I think it could definitely, inspire others if they're in the same boat or have found themselves in the same boat mentally or emotionally. But I would say first, my vision is to be able to live the life that I want to live. If I'm going to be here, I need to live the life that I want to live. I don't want to be working for anyone else, and I want to be able to just basically have fun and be happy and, provide for my family, provide for my loved ones. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters to me. And I definitely want to travel. I have a desire to travel. So I know, obviously to make passive income, to have enough capital to travel where I want to go. I've always been an adventurous person, so I love to do crazy, fun things. I want to ski, snowboard. I want to surf. I want to do everything. I just want to be able to live as much as I can while I'm here. So that's the vision. And I also found that throughout this journey, of becoming a real estate entrepreneur and getting into this business, it's actually really helped me evolve mentally. Forcefully, it was a driving force for me to evolve mentally because without it, so essentially it's kind of healing in a way. It was kind of healing for me, honestly. It was like a therapeutic thing for me because the skills that are required to, succeed in this business, you have to develop, and it forcefully changes how you are mentally. It has to. So I would say, that's definitely my mission, my vision. And the reason why I do it is just because I love giving back. I love knowing that I'm helping somebody. And, obviously it is very good as far as income. So I just thought it would be a good fit for me. So I tried it out.
Awesome. And your interaction with other people, the values that you hold, the way that you're developing it. Because when we start, we haven't had conversations with people about real estate. We haven't we don't even know what a title and escrow officer is.
Yeah.
We don't know what a private money or hard money lender is. Cash buyer could be anything. That's very vague and doesn't really describe real estate investing. So those relationships that you build and the values that you find there, what kind of people are you trying to pull towards your business, and what kind of energy are you trying to put out?
The kind of people that I want to attract to my business are, one, if we're talking about, a seller, someone that's motivated, someone that's reasonable, someone that's rational and fair. But obviously, we're not in a perfect world, so we're not always going to get that. But as far as just working with someone business-wise, a partner, a friend, I want to network with people that are genuine, that are motivated, that just are high vibrational overall, like people that care about, themselves, their life, and empathetic people as well. I think that that's really important in this business. And honest people, honest, transparent, genuine people. Those are the kind of people that I want to work with.
I love it. You talked a lot about growth there in the first year. Was it something that you felt more timid before? Did you feel like, is it like your communication style? Is it your confidence? Is it your just the experience level? Like give me a mixture of all of that in your own words, so that I'm not just making assumptions here. Like what was the main growth that everybody should prepare themselves for as they get into this incredible world of wholesaling real estate and being a real estate investor and entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, to be completely transparent and real, I definitely was a person that struggled with mental health growing up. I've been diagnosed with multiple things, ADHD, like stuff that you would think a person wouldn't be able to grow out of, basically. And I've definitely been able to grow out of it. I've definitely been able to rewire my brain. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And I would say basically, let's say you have social anxiety. I've struggled with social anxiety, and you like you've mentioned, label yourself as an introvert, but you don't have to be an introvert. Like, this business will bring out the best in you because you're just gonna be forced to talk to people, and that's really the main thing here. And I realized that it could be the make or break point of you getting a deal or not. Confidence, tone matching, just knowing how to talk to someone, knowing what someone wants to hear as well. Not in a bad way, but just like being able to be emotionally intelligent enough to kind of gauge what they need in that moment. So it's going to make you more aware. First of all, it's going to make you want to analyze yourself. So you're going to become more self-aware because you got to stay accountable. And then you also have to, you have to kind of watch what you say, how you say it over and over and over again. So eventually, that's going to make you self-aware. That's going to make you accountable. It's also going to make you disciplined, which is really good. And speaking of that, before I wasn't really exercising every single day. I just was missing, I would say, a lot of key things that would keep me healthy and energetic throughout the day. Once I started implementing good habits of people that are successful and replicating it, I started to see a difference. I started to genuinely see just a shoot of energy go through my body when I would do the same actions as, someone that is where I want to be. So, waking up early, reading, spending time in nature, meditating, exercising, very, very key for me. So, it's just going to push you out of whatever kind of state you might be in that you think is holding you back, because it's going to start to make you think, well, okay, yeah, I know I can do this because someone else can. But why are they doing it and I'm not there yet? What do they have that I don't? Not physically or materialistic wise, but mentally, because that's what it comes down to.
What I found, and I echo your thoughts here in a lot of ways. When I had lost everything and went through a divorce and lost my cars and lost the houses and had the judgment and was just down and out, I thought I had to go inward to be able to be of value outward. And what I found was when I went outward, all of a sudden, and I started providing a ton of value to the community, all of a sudden inward started warming up that old fire in my belly again, the way that I felt when I was in like junior high and high school and college, and that confidence, and that before I ever screwed everything up financially or professionally, all of a sudden that started coming back, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, if I go out there and I'm proactive and I try to find problems that I can solve out in the community, all of a sudden my posture started getting taller. Right? I had the sparkle back in my eye. I had the electricity in my bones. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, sometimes when we're in really tough spots, or maybe we're anxious, or maybe we're just not as confident as we feel that we should be, or in a place that we feel like we should be, based on the goals that we have, going out and really trying to serve as much as possible brings that back. What do you think?
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree. I didn't even, think of that as far as what I was trying to say, evaluate yourself. But that also makes sense. And I think I've also, applied the same, I guess, actions. I was like you said, you were in a different spot, and then once you started to see what you're providing and seeing how you're affecting people and seeing what that's bringing back to you, it started to warm you up. I think the same thing, the same thing has to happen. It had to happen with me. Like I wasn't that confident. I had to overcome a lot of negative limiting beliefs, especially when it came down to talking with sellers or realtors or people selling their house. So once I started to actually just put myself out there and not think about that or just ignore that and become resilient to it, then yeah, it definitely started to warm me up. It definitely did. It started to make me like that started to be my, I wouldn't say full on source of happiness, but
Yeah.
I started to feel more passionate and connected to this business, where if I don't do this business, I don't feel like myself. It's became kind of like an identity of mine.
I love it. Listen, I mean, and I know that about you because we've talked a lot and we've texted a lot, and you've sent me a lot of deals that you locked up that weren't really deals, and you were disappointed, but you came back every single time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on that podcast. I'm going to close some deals. I know I can do this. I know I can do this. I know that I can do this. So where does that come from, Caleb? Where does it come from where, you're out there and, you're getting disappointed on not really getting the deals through, but you still have that part of you that's like, I can do this. Where does that come from?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. I asked myself that a lot throughout the duration of my journey to getting my first deal. Like, how am I still doing this after almost a year and not seeing any results, and constantly going broke and constantly working a job and then having to do it? Like, just, it was so much, like, and I kept going. And I would say, I guess, the first reason is because I refuse to work for someone else for the rest of my life. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Second, I realized that not even just like the outcome of what I want. Of course I have goals. Of course I have things that I want to get. I am a car person. Of course I want to get like, the nice cars and the nice house and, but like I said, like I mentioned earlier, this business brings me some kind of happiness, some kind of fulfillment or purpose where I feel like I just like it, not in a hobby way, but just like I want to do it. Like even
Yep.
though sometimes, yes, I don't want to get on the phone because maybe I feel a little bit more anxious than maybe I did the other day, or the last time I got on the phone I had a bad interaction, or for whatever reason, it just feels right after the fact that I did it. So I would say, mainly my driving forces to keep on going is just, for one, like where I want to be financially, being financially stable, being wealthy, and then also just making it a part of who I am, like connecting that emotion to, what I'm doing, and then being able to realize it's a positive emotion. It makes me do it. It makes me do
Yep.
it because if I don't, then I don't experience that emotion that I'd like to feel.
I love it. By the way, guys, Kayla worked at DSW, Target, got fired from Amazon because she wasn't corporate enough, and now works at the airport in Philly, and part-time, and does this business part-time. Not at the place yet where she can replace her income, but working there. Closed the first deal, and we'll do the breakdown there, and is also working on a second deal now that we'll talk about that will be multiple five figures, which is fantastic, and we'll get into that a little bit, but doesn't have all day, every day to just dedicate to this business, has to go and pay, bills and responsibilities, and still keeps this alive, and finds the in-between times that she's at work to be able to do this business, because this business is action-packed all the time. Sometimes you have to send out contracts. Sometimes you have to send out addendums. Sometimes you have to make calls and texts and all these things, and she is doing it at 22 years old. You're an inspiration, Kayla. I love this conversation so far.
Thanks.
This is one of my favorite conversations of all time so far. This is really, really great because we all go through this. All of us, every single person, and it's our ability to push through this that really makes us incredible leaders. And that's something that you were talking about before we got on this podcast, is you've never really been in a big time leadership role, but you are the CEO. You own the LLC.
Yeah.
You are a business owner, right?
Yes.
So listen, whether you've been one or not, you are one. And
I am
so it's
now,
just
yeah.
It's just growth from here, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. Let's talk about your first deal.
Okay. First deal.
Where did you find it?
So it was in Covington, Georgia. It's right outside of Atlanta. Very good area in Georgia. It was on market, fully renovated. Didn't need any work. Had the LVP flooring in there, the granite countertops, white cabinets, stainless steel. Everything was done. It really didn't even really need to be touched.
Right.
But so what I had to do was, I called the agent. I made an offer. But the thing is, the way that we go about our offers is different. So there's something called the Taylor method. My friend Richard Taylor /partner/mentor, he coined it.
Shout out Richard.
Shout out Richard. He's amazing, great person. I love him. Basically, what the method entails is you convert an on-market listing to an off-market listing.
Okay, how do you do that?
So, I would say it's specific terminology that you have to use with the agent. I do get hit with a lot of objections when I do.
Sure.
Have to have this talk with the agent, but we did come up with a strategy that works 99% of the time. So
Okay.
pretty much what I would say was, how, as wholesalers, sometimes we do have to not portray as a buyer, but we are thinking and talking as if we are the buyer, so it makes sense, right? So in this instance, what I would have to say is, it'd always be after I would lock up the contract. I would say to them, there's two divisions of our company, which there is. The hedge fund, Oh yeah, by the way, we did sell it to a hedge fund.
Yep.
But there's two divisions. There's an on-market division and an off-market division, and they spend so much money on, marketing off-market, right? So what I say is, due to, not hitting a certain monthly quota, we'd need this to just appear as off-market because, who we're partnered with as far as our private funding or private lender, it's in our operating agreement that, we only sell to them. We only sell to them off-market listings. And if it is on-market, they're going to tell us to send it to the on-market division. And I'm trying to help out my division of the
Yep.
off-market.
Cool.
And usually they understand 100%. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, that's illegal. I can't do that. I'm like, it's not. You just don't know how to do it yet, but I'm going to tell you.
Well, they have signed. So just real quick, as being a real estate agent, or licensed, I should say, being a real estate agent for a while and licensed for, 19 years now. That's crazy. Anyway, you sign a listing agreement, and in that listing agreement, it talks about how it's listed on the MLS. So there might have to be some addendum paperwork for the broker that needs to be signed. Maybe not. It just depends. Sometimes you could take it off the market and sell it off the market. It just depends on what state you're in. But go ahead. So you say, listen, I need this off market. We're going to be the funding partners want this off market. They don't want it listed, and so. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. You're 100% correct.
Yep. And if they don't, what happens?
If we don't, well, I'll say, like basically, I mean, I can't come off desperate. I have to also come off like, this is just what we need to do. And if,
Yep.
you guys can't cooperate or just do that period because, certain brokerages have certain rules,
Yep.
that's fine. We just won't be your buyer then. But typically I've only had one agent have to cancel on me because they wouldn't do it.
Awesome.
But some of the objections are like, well, that's not ethical. I can't do it. There's no way for me to do that. Some think that I'm trying to ask them to withdraw the listing. I'm like, I'm not asking you to withdraw it. Basically what you have to do is, because I know some people don't know this, but there's a button. So depending on what, MLS, I guess you're using, the FMLS, Georgia MLS, they're different. So let's say let's say the listing is under the FMLS. There's a little button in there that says TOM, T-O-M,
Yep.
temporarily off
Time
market.
off market.
Yes, exactly. So,
Same here. I think most of them, yeah.
Yeah. So all they would have to do is click that if it's listed under the FMLS. And then for the Georgia MLS, this is what I mainly have to, use because I'm in Georgia. There's something called on hold. It's an on hold status is what they call it.
Yep.
So basically they would just have to contact the Georgia MLS via email, or they can call them and just say like, hey, I want to request this listing to be on hold, and then it'll appear off market on realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, you name it. And yeah, by default, it'll go back to on market after 30 days. But they're not even going to, like, if we're moving forward on the inspection, they're not going to put it back on at that point.
Yep.
But yeah.
Awesome. So that you have to get it off market because you're selling to a hedge fund, and the hedge funds don't want to buy on market deals unless it's through their agents that find these deals on market and bring it to them. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So this one is one that the agent didn't find. See, this is what's really interesting, because Kayla was telling me that working with Richard Taylor, what they did is they've got real good relationships with the hedge funds in their marketplaces. They stay up to date with their buy box, and a buy box is just the criteria, the price, the condition, the amount of bedrooms and bathrooms, whether it's they don't want it on major streets, they want them in certain zip codes in certain cities. So they stay up to date communicating with the hedge funds that are buying in their area. They put together what was it called? Jarvis. So Chris Gallagher is the dispo partner. Because the company is under Richard Taylor, and then that's his dispo partner. So Chris actually came up with Jarvis, where, it's the hedge fund calculator, and basically that's where you plug in your numbers so you can know which hedge fund will buy your deal. Love it.
Yeah.
Not only that, but so it's going through active listings?
What do you mean, like on Jarvis?
Yeah, will it show you which listings on the market to go after?
Oh no, so it's actually it's not even that. It's a legitimate calculator. Like
Yep.
yeah, it's literally a calculator. I think it was built on Word. Was it Microsoft Word? I forget what it was.
Yeah, like an Excel or something.
Yeah, it was an Excel. That's
Yeah.
what I meant to say. It was an Excel.
Okay, so it's not scraping the MLS,
No,
finding which ones you have to
no.
go into the MLS, find some opportunities, match them up with the criteria, negotiate, I assume, off of that, because if those properties were already listed at a price that the hedge funds would buy, their agents would be on it. So here's where the skills get built in here. If you guys are all thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is like a cheat code for deals." It's a fantastic strategy. I will caution this for everybody. One, hedge funds change all the time. Okay? So if you're getting in this and you don't know if you don't have good relationships with the hedge funds, it's going to be very difficult and frustrating for you to go and try to lock up these deals and sell them to the hedge funds. Also, you have to close on these deals. So you have to have the funding to be able to close escrow on it. You can't typically. We have a couple here in Phoenix, hedge funds that will allow us to assign it, but most of them, you have to own it, then sell it to them. It could be a double close situation where you close on the same day, but you have to actually own it to sell it to them. They're not going to take an assignment fee. So there's a couple different sticking points, because I know everybody's brain, you're talking, Kayla, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is bananas. This is revolutionary. All I'm saying is, one, Richard has built relationships, it sounds like, with these hedge funds and knows what they're looking for. Two, they have the ability to close on these deals either with private financing or their own financing to be able to sell those. So if you're just getting started, you don't have those relationships, and you don't have the funds to do it, stick with finding ugly houses off the market. All right, build that up, and you'll really start building some momentum. Or tap into Kayla and their community. I'm sure that they've got some interesting ways that you can work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as far as on the dispo side, I would say, because I'm still even trying to build my own relationships with the hedge funds, because, Chris, he was the one to initially build all of those relationships. So he did all of that work because it's a lot of work. You have to be on their good side. They have to know that you're serious in order to even
Yep.
get your email, because they have a lot of wholesalers, sending them deals. So, if it's going to take, I would say don't get distracted by shiny objects unless you really have the time to, because it's going to take time. I'm not even trying to super focus on it, but I do have a couple hedge fund contacts where it's like, if I come across someone that I can value trade with that has another hedge fund that maybe I don't have, then okay. But
Yeah.
seeking the hedge funds, you could definitely do it. Of course, you could definitely do it, but it's definitely, I don't think it's probably the same as building a relationship with a typical cash buyer.
Yeah, and listen, you never want to be a cash buyer employee, because they dictate your business at that point. You know what I mean? I saw hundreds of people get crushed when the hedge funds stopped buying in different markets. Now, I think that this is a great strategy to be able to, but if you guys are interested in this, listening to this, make sure you reach out to Kayla and see if there's a connection there in all of Georgia.
No, so they're very picky.
Right.
Some are picky. There's the one that I sold my last deal to was very picky about it. I mean, they won't buy with Atlanta in the actual address, and it's only certain surrounding counties that
Got it.
they'll buy in. So it can be tricky, especially right now, I would say, with, the shift in the market. I wasn't selling to hedge funds before then, but, it seems like they're pretty picky now. But yeah, I mean, they'll buy usually, some will buy in the city of Atlanta, but it's more so the surrounding
Sure.
counties outside of it. They're not going to
Yep.
go too far out.
So what did you buy it for? What did you sell it for?
So initially, I had it under contract for 256.
Uh-huh.
And I thought the hedge fund would buy it at like 280 at the time,
Yep.
and they came back and offered 260. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go back and try to do something here. So I
Yep.
did. I went back to the agent, told him where we needed to be at, and ironically, something that kind of helped my case here. Someone during our inspection went and broke the window. So it was kind of crazy where I was like, perfect timing in a way because I'm like, well, we need to replace the window and whatnot. So we need to be at 250. So we moved forward at 250. The hedge fund bought it for 260.
And then there were some closing costs there. So I think you netted around, what was it, like 7,000 and then split it between you guys, but somewhere around there?
Yes, correct.
On your first deal?
Yes.
Come on, Kayla. Yes! I am so happy for you. I really am. Listen, we interview people on here that make millions. We interview people on here that have made $1 million on a deal, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you made $100 on this deal. The fact that you made income by being proactive, even if it was on the market, but just going and being proactive and watching that whole process and experiencing it and being in that whole process of start to finish, from the initial conversation to getting paid on that, it changes you forever.
Yes.
You know you can do this again. And not only that, guys, she's got a deal now that they're looking to do that's going to net, they're at 275 on it. They're looking to get 300 on it, probably going to get, they already have an offer at 295. So $20,000 there. This is just keep going up. The first three deals I did, the first deal I did was $4,500, and now we average $38,000. In the heyday of 2000, early part of 2022 and all of 2021, we were over $50,000 a deal. So this starts building up and building up and building up. But when you got paid on that, how'd that feel? Because I got that text message.
Yeah, it felt great. I felt excited. I felt proud of myself. I felt relieved. Definitely, I felt relieved on that. It was great. And then after that, I didn't feel less motivation. I didn't get lazy. It just made me hungrier. I'm like, okay, well, now I got to get more and I got to get more until, I reach my goal. And when I reach my goal, I'm going to keep going. It just was the beginning for me. It made me even more motivated. It's kind of crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Congratulations. Got it closed. Building momentum. Having the momentum will replace your income here, I think, in the next 90 days. Mm-hmm. And I mean, do you think about that ever? Do you think that, in about 90 days or so, in about 3 months, 4 months maybe, I'll be in a position to never have a boss again?
Yes, it's a great, great thought to have. It's a good feeling to have, knowing that I know that I'm going to get this done. There's no way that I could ever, ever, ever go back after seeing. Honestly, it's made me realize how, in a way, money is fake. It's all mind. That's it. It can create everything that you want. So I just realized, there's no way I could go back. It's not about anything that's happening to me. I can control where I want my life to go. So I know for sure within 90 days or so, I'll be able to quit my job. That's the first goal that I have, is I just want to be able to quit my job and, rely on my business to, create the life that I want to.
That's it. Step 1, do your first deal.
Yep.
Step 2, go full-time in this business. Step 3, build the machine that's going to find you the best opportunities. Step 4, pay off all your consumer debts.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no point in getting passive cash flow and then just giving it away to interest payments. The fact is, from January to October, the average American pays interest and taxes. Okay? So you get rid of all the consumer debt, and then you start buying assets, and then you're at the point now where you are financially free, and you're on the fast pass, and you're at 22 years old. I mean, by the time that you see your 30s, I mean, what a powerful real estate entrepreneur. you're going to be at that time, and it's going to be fun to watch, and it's exciting. And I love that you're part of the Rhino tribe, and I love that you pour in and have all those connections with Stephanie and some of the others. And it's really, really important to have that. It's really important to have community. It's really important to have people that understand what you're doing because they're doing it as well. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely, Brent. Well said. I agree with everything that you said. I appreciate, the kind words. It all means a lot. And, I honestly, I don't know where I'd be without community. I think that that's everything. I think even in general, as human beings, we all need community. We need connection. And without, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now without any of you guys, especially you, Brent, but without anybody in the TTP community. I needed everyone. Everyone was placed in my life at that certain time for a specific reason. So, I'm just thankful for everything. I'm thankful to even discover this business. I'm glad I didn't start fixing and flipping like I originally planned and then start wholesaling. Like, I'm glad that everything is panning out the way that it is.
Awesome. Well, I and we as a community are better for you being in it. So thank you. How can people reach out to you? How can people connect with you? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to really connect with your story and your openness today and just your fire. You know what I mean? You got that fire in your eyes. So how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so you can reach me at, I'm going to be crazy and put my cell phone number out here, but I
Do it.
love to connect with everyone. So you can reach me at 484-318-5239. And then you have my Instagram. It's DREAMWITHK, Dream with K. And then if you want to reach out to Richard Taylor, as far as, his Discord or just kind of learning more about Jarvis and whatnot and the hedge funds, he knows even more about me. You can reach him at his Instagram, Richard Grandin Taylor, his TikTok, Hold My Hand Wholesale, or you can reach Chris C. Gallagher on Instagram. So we're all here for you. We're all here
Love
for
it.
you. If you have any questions, or if you just want to reach out, we'll be happy to talk to you.
Awesome. Kayla, so great to be to have you on the podcast. You've been telling me weekly that you were going to be on this podcast, and you manifested it by actually taking action. And I think that's really the moral of this conversation is, yes, working on yourself is important. Yes, exercising and reading and being in nature and doing all of these incredible things are important when you combine it with taking action and actually serving the community. So thank you for being an incredible example to everybody out there.
Absolutely.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Reach out to her.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's me. And yes, I appreciate you.
All right. Awesome. And listen, guys, that's it. I hope you got a tremendous amount out of this. Reach out to Kayla. And if you're interested in joining the most proactive community in real estate investing, it is the Rhino Tribe. Go to wholesalinginc.com. Go to wholesalinginc.com. Check out what it's all about. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. We look forward to working with you personally. And that's it. As always, I end this by encouraging you all to go out there and talk to people. Till next time. Love you guys. See ya.